Taking Bravo.
Death machine ready. Air patrol standing by.
Enemy has Charlie. Be secure. We've pulled ahead. Losing Bravo.
More and more people using that freaking
Taking Charlie.
Nice, Max. Alright, we just went into halftime, Hydro.
Enemy took B. Losing
That
Alpha.
frickin' cold piece again. Holy crap. He like bounces in the air and spins and shoots you.
Taking Charlie.
And he knows exactly where you're at, no matter what.
Taking Bell. They are dominating us. Go on the offensive. Charlie secure. Hostile are
To go down.
Again! Nice!
hostile spy plane established overhead. Secure.
Behind us.
This isn't working. We're behind. B locked down.
Situation point.
B secure. Losing B.
Okay.
Securing Charlie. Losing Bravo. We're taking control. Taking Charlie. Losing Alpha. Securing Charlie. We lost A.
You had it. Oh my god.
Enemy napalm strike incoming.
Tear him up, Max. Freaking armor and gas mask over there. Get him, Max.
Hostile care package inbound.
Air patrol standing by.
Air patrol inbound. B locked down. Losing Charlie. Losing Bravo. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Air patrol standing by.
B locked down.
Oh, boy, my jump key's not working. What the hell?
Whoa.
Dude,
From where?
I can't even jump.
Taking A. Enemy has B. Securing B. Securing A. This isn't working. Behind.
Death machine available. Air patrol standing by.
has C. Securing Bravo.
Ooh, they're fragging A now.
Losing Alpha.
Holy crap.
Bravo locked down.
Hello everyone, thanks for watching today's episode. We're looking at the Milano 821. Basically, it's an Uzi, and I'm going to show you my gunsmith loadout. And this weapon is completely maxed out. So as far as the optics, I didn't go with it mainly because I didn't go with the gunfighter. I'll explain it to you in just a bit. You don't really need the optics on this so much. But anyway, I went with the SOCOM Eliminator instead of the agency suppressor, mainly because I felt as though the 17% vertical recoil control helped give it slight edge over going with the agency suppressor with only 7%. Yeah, you get 100% muzzle flash concealment, but also at the same time it didn't seem to do as much damage when it was 100% fully suppressed, especially at longer distances, which of course makes sense. So move along. As far as the barrel, I went with the plus 100% bullet velocity for the 10.5-inch Ranger barrel. In my opinion, you really need the 100% bullet velocity, otherwise this gun shoots way too slow. And you'll definitely notice when you're starting out with it. Just keep grinding away, trust me, it's worth it. And then as far as the body, I didn't really go with anything with this. I originally did. I originally had like a steady aim laser on it, and then later on I went with this one, the SWAT 5 MW laser sight to have plus 35% hipfire accuracy. But I already got so used to like where I thought it was going to be at anyway that I just felt as though the other things I needed were a lot more significant than this category. I know some people say, well, that's a no-no, but in reality, you have to do it like this because you don't have the gunfighter wildcard. So, for instance, on the next category with the underbarrel, I went with the field agent grip instead of going with some of these other ones, mainly because I wanted the plus 6% vertical recoil control and the plus 20% horizontal recoil control, mainly for the hip fire. That was basically it. Some of these other ones are decent, but I just felt as though the best one all around was indeed this one right here, the field agent grip, mainly for the hip fire accuracy. And as far as the magazine, yeah, I'm a big fan of ADS, but on this gun, it was a combination of ADS and hip fire. So I felt as though going with the 55 round salvo 55 round fast mag was more my play style, because a lot of times I would just mow people down. I would get like 8 kill streaks, sometimes 12 that you saw in those clips, and you just needed that extra ammo to get that job done, especially if you're going to shoot from the hip anyway. So as far as the handle, as usual, it's the airborne elastic wrap. For me, it just seems this is consistent. You get the plus 30% ADS sight time. I know that I said earlier that I wanted this to be mainly hip fire, but there was times I felt as though I wanted to still aim down the sight just a little bit. But that combined with the flinch resistance, it was like a deal breaker. Like, that was definitely the way to go compared to some of these other ones. Yeah, like this one, for instance, or the field tape, right? So you're getting like the best of both of those right here. Yeah, you're sacrificing a little bit on the sprint to fire time. You definitely want a little bit of sprint to fire time. But again, you're making up with that with the Gung Ho perk. So, alright, so far as the handle, I'm sorry, we already went over that. So as far as the stock, I didn't go with anything with this because if I did, I would have to remove something from another category. And I just didn't feel as though it was something that I had to have. Like, yeah, I would like the plus 30% sprint to fire time. Probably the Raider stock, I should say. Would have been really nice to have, but again, I didn't want to sacrifice taking away from those other categories. So that's it as far as my gunsmith goes. I am going to show you as far as my perks go. I went with the perk greed this time. If you've seen some of my other videos, I usually go with the gun fighter so I can have maximum amount of attachments, but for this particular loadout, it's a very running gun style loadout. So you definitely want to go with the perk greed. And then as far as the actual perks, the first category one with the engineer, where I can see, you know, some of the bouncing betties and so on. I combine that with the tactical mask because I just hated running through a room and then somebody has, you know, for instance, gas going off. Yeah, I can technically see it, right, with the engineer perk, but still, I'm just trying to run through there. I'm not trying to stop and shoot at little things like that. And then combine that with perk category 2, which is scavenger. You know, if you're constantly shooting this weapon, you want to be able to, you know, pick up ammo off people real quick. The tracker, sometimes it seemed like it helped, but there was other times it seemed like it wasn't really a deal breaker. But it's the way I went. Sometimes it did help to see where the footprints were, but the main one for me was definitely the gung ho, being able to sprint and fire at the same time, combined with the ninja having, like, not necessarily dead silence, but close to it, right? So those two things was what really made this weapon, I should say, awesome for me. And I probably will continue to use it. I really, really like it. Sometimes, you know, I would switch, of course, to the Howard 77, but yeah, that was about it. As far as tips, I mean, like I mentioned before, I mean, you got to have that 100%, or sorry, plus 100% bullet velocity. And this gun is actually really, really accurate from the iron sight perspective, aimed in. So, you know, don't necessarily just hold it down, and you still want to kind of burst fire against the enemies. If you're going to shoot from the hip, of course, if you're going to do iron sight, I mean, yeah, you can hold down a little bit longer, but it's a little bit of a combination of both. I'm not going to say this is a 100% hip fire shooting weapon like some people have done for the MAC-10, for instance. So, again, it's a combo of both. So, anyway, I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching the clips you saw in today's episode. And please leave a like or a comment. Share what your loadout is, or if you happen to like this or not like it. That's fine. So, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.